Hello, beautiful souls. So today I'm going to be guiding you through my mobility warm-up that I do before any of my workout sessions. But this is also a series that you can do if you just need to move your body, get some blood flow, start to get your joints nice and open, and start to really connect to your body. It doesn't take a lot of time, but you can follow along and then add this in whenever it feels best for you. So to begin, just start with your feet parallel right underneath your hips. We're just going to begin connecting in to our breath. So trying to bring your breath a little bit more into your belly, letting that diaphragm press down. So taking an inhale, let it rise up into your chest, and then exhaling. Feeling your feet really grounding into the floor. We're going to do that 2 more times, nice full breaths. Exhaling out. And 1 more breath. Exhaling all the way out. And just start to make semicircles with the neck, chin to chest, and chin to shoulder. Just gently rocking from side to side. Going nice and easy with this process, not forcing the neck, and just even observing how your neck feels today. I always like to focus more on the internal sensation of the movement rather than the forcing of the muscles doing the work. So sometimes you can visualize a liquid pouring out through your ears each time you tip the head around. Good, and then gently tipping the ear to the shoulder, side to side. Just nice and easy. And all the while really connecting to your breath, staying present with your body and the experience. And then looking up and down, drawing the chin to the chest. And as your head goes back, rather than thinking of collapsing your neck all the way, think about keeping a little bit of space between the base of your skull and your spine. So thinking of almost going up and back versus just collapsing down. Good, and then we roll the shoulders all the way back. Just lubricating those shoulders. Good, and now the elbows. And sometimes I like to open my chest a little bit and let my spine start to follow the process of where my elbows are going. Good, and then we're going to reverse, take it back the other way, elbows coming forward, and letting your upper spine contract forward. Good. And then from here, big reaches with the arms all the way up and back. Keep your fingertips together, and then flip your palms, rotating all the way back. Try and keep your fingertips together as long as you can, and releasing it back. 2 more times. Reaching all the way. Release. 1 more. And take it back the other way. Reverse. Palms coming up towards the sky, flipping down towards the floor as you come all the way forward and down. Reaching. And you're trying to get a full range of motion through that shoulder. Good, nice big reach. Nice, and we're going to stretch up and over to the left side. And feel the space between your armpit to your hip, breathing into the side of the body. Exhale, coming all the way up. Other side, big reach all the way up and over. Push those feet down into the floor, feel that space in the side of the body. And moving 1 more time each side. And rather than just collapsing into your side, lift up and out of your hips and over. It's much different than just dropping down, because then you're going to compress through that side. So keeping more space. 1 more time the other side. Nice big reach. And release. Keeping your hips where they are, hands on your shoulders. Just exhale, twist side to side. Make sure that you keep those hips where they are, so you're just isolating that thoracic spine. And letting your head follow as well. So warming it up. Good. And from here, go ahead, I'm going to just face the side so you can see. Feet are parallel, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, diving forward towards the floor. Walk your hands out into a downward dog, letting your heels melt down into the ground. And just start to tread through your feet 1 at a time. Bending through the knees. And each time you want to try and really push that heel down into the floor. And push those palms really deep into the ground. Good. And let both heels melt down into the floor. We're just going to shift forward and back into a plank, just stabilizing through the shoulders. We inhale, press forward. Exhale, push it back. And again, inhale forward. Exhale back. 3 more. that belly button pressing towards your spine. 2 more. Back. Last one. And pressing it back. Now we're going to alternate with lunges. Go ahead and step your right foot through between your hands and step it back into your lunge. Switching sides. Just starting to get some blood flow. Get the heart rate up a little bit more. Alternating between right and left. Trying to keep that back leg nice and long. 4 more times. We have 4. And 3. 2 more. 2. Last one with the switch. And then we're going to take our right leg forward back into our lunge. This time, keep that leg down onto the floor. Keep that back leg nice and long. Energy out through your heel. Just shifting forward and back. And keep focusing on lengthening through the front of your left hip. Creating space. Good. All right, and now from here, we are gonna think of melting our inside forearm down towards the floor. If you're not able to fully reach, just try your best getting as low as you can. Even if it's just a slight bend, that's perfectly fine. We're gonna go 8 times, bringing that elbow all the way down to the inside of that heel. We take our hand onto our shoulder, exhale, twist, looking up towards the ceiling. Again, keeping your hips square. We go again. Here's 2. And open. 3. 4. 4 more. 5. 6. Last 2. 7. And 1 more. And on our last one, keep that elbow going all the way around. You're going to take your left foot and knee, tuck it underneath, coming into a spinal twist. You are rotating, so taking your left hand on the outside of your right thigh, twist and look over that right shoulder. Feel the rotation through your thigh and through your spine. Taking a few deep breaths here, lengthening through the spine each time you inhale. Exhale, deepening that line. Good. And now I will face you. Stay where you are though. You're going to now take that top leg and you're going to drape it over top. Now you can place a yoga block or a pillow here if you need to. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale, folding forward over the legs. Opening up through the outside of that hip. And just taking a few breaths here. Go ahead and walk your hands over towards that top knee, stacking your opposite palm on top. Feeling those hips open. And then gently walking your hands to the other side, stacking that opposite palm on top. And breathe into the glutes. Let those hips release. Good. And coming back to center, we're gonna go ahead and roll it all the way up, 1 vertebrae at a time. We're gonna take this top leg. Now, if you can, if you're more advanced, keep that leg hovering off the floor. If you are a little bit more of a beginner, keep that leg draping down onto the floor. So you're gonna think of bringing that leg up and around, okay? And coming all the way back into a 90-90. Otherwise, take that foot down and slide it back. Good. Now from here, we're gonna go ahead and take our body and stretch it forward over that leg into a 90-90 stretch. Try and keep that front hip down onto the floor as you press forward. Lengthen through your spine. Just taking a few deep breaths here. And exhale, slowly rolling all the way up. Now we're gonna start to work on some hip mobility. So if you happen to have a yoga block, if you need it, please place them right by your sides so that you can push down. What we are going to do is we're going to focus on the external rotation through that front hip and then turning in. So we're working through external to internal rotation. We're going to try and lift our leg off the floor. Now, if you have difficulty doing this, then you can keep your leg sliding on the ground. But ideally, we want to try and get that leg off the floor as best as we can, or shifting into that hip in the beginning and lifting that leg up, trying to get that foot off of the floor. So we're going to lift the leg up. We're going to extend that leg forward and then turn the foot into parallel. Then we're going to reverse, turn the foot out, lift the leg up, coming in. Let that foot come all the way back to your back thigh. And we go again for 2. Rotating, opening that hip, coming in, and stretch. Now, each time that you're doing this, you want to think about that rotation through the hip. So everything is coming from that hip socket and in. And we open, rotate in. One more here, we're gonna come back in and then finish the sequence one last time. Coming out, rotate that leg in, keeping that spine nice and long, coming back in and stretch. Good, now from here, we're going to keep this hip down on the floor. Rotate your body and open up your back hip. Now, you can keep your hands behind you if you're a little bit more beginning in this position. If you're more advanced, keep your hands in front of you. You're gonna open that hip like a book. Open, and then coming back and in, rotate. We have 2, open. And each time you want to feel that hip really getting through that full range of motion for 3. We have 4. We're going to do 4 more. And 4. This is 3. And 2. Last one. Good. Taking that back leg, go ahead and sweep it in front of you, and we're going to come back into a lunge, rotate towards that back leg, coming into a side lunge position, opening up through that adductor. So now, try to really think about both sits bones pressing down towards the floor and keeping that leg extended. If your heel is not down on the ground, it is okay if you are up a little bit higher, but try to get that heel down. Nice big stretch. Few deep breaths. And each time that you exhale, see if you can relax through your body a little bit more. We rotate back into our lunge. Soften that back knee down onto the floor. Now we're going to come into a quad stretch. So you're going to lift that back leg up. If this is all you can do, perfect. That's fine. If you want to go more, we're going to take that arm, reaching it all the way back with a windmill, and then bring that back leg in. Now, as we're in this position, make sure that your hips are still square and try to keep your pelvis slightly tucked under so that you really open through the front of that hip. Take a few deep breaths here. You can actively also push your foot into your hand and then exhale, release a little deeper into that stretch. Pressing down. Good. And then exhaling. And then we're going to press back into our downward dog. I'm going to flip back around to face the other way, but coming back into our downward dog just as we did before. And we tread through the feet just like we did in the beginning. And from here, we look through the hands. We step our left foot now into our lunge, keeping that spine nice and long. A little shift forward and back. Energy all the way through that back heel. Almost think about the connection between the crown of your head to your tailbone. Good. And now we go ahead and take our inside forearm. We're going to bring it down towards the inside of that ankle. Shimmy back just a little bit here. Coming down, and 8 times we open through the spine. Again, keep those hips where they are. Rotate through the spine. And here we go for 2. And 3. Let your eyes follow the elbow. 4. 4 more. We have 4. 3. 2. Give me 1 more. And let that elbow continue to sweep, pull that back leg in underneath. We rotate the spine. Lift up and out of the hips. Each time that you exhale, twist a little further. Inhale, lifting up. Good. And gently unwinding, we take our top leg now, drape it over the top of that right thigh. Good. Again, resting a pillow or block underneath if you need to. And exhale, folding forward over the legs. Just taking a few breaths here. And notice if your body starts to tighten or tense, and see if you can just start to relax a little bit more deeply into the stretch. We walk our hands over to the other leg, bringing that palm on top. Feeling the space between your ribs as you breathe. And then gently walking it over to the other side. Stacking the palms, breathing into the hips. And walk rocking the body back forward, rolling it up one vertebrae at a time. We take that leg up and back again. If you want to keep it connected to the floor, you can do that as well. Whichever variation is more comfortable for you. And then stretching forward over that leg into a 90-90 stretch. So when we think of a 90-90, we want to make sure that our hip and our knee are in line, and our knee and our ankle are in line. So if you were to look down at the leg, trying to think almost like a plus sign. Good, and then rolling up through the spine. We make any adjustments that we need to, maybe placing those blocks down if we need that assistance. And we're gonna go ahead and try and lift that leg up. Again, if in the beginning you need to shift into that hip, that is fine too. We lift the leg up, we come forward, we rotate in, coming back. And again, feel that rotation happening through your hip. We have 2, coming forward and down. And in, let that foot actually tap the thigh when it comes in. Here we go for 3. Lifting up. And if you want to challenge yourself even more, see if you can get that leg up a little bit higher. And down. 5. Wherever you are, there's always either modifications or advancements. 6. It's part of making progress, right? We want to be able to start somewhere and see those improvements happening. Beautiful, guys. We're going to do one more time. Coming all the way in. Last one, we go out. Bringing that leg all the way in. Good. Now, either bringing the hands behind you or in front, whichever position you need to be in, we're going to open through that back hip and we rotate. 1. Trying to keep that front knee pushing down towards the floor so that we open through those hips in external rotation. And this is 3. Here we have 4. 4 more. This is 4. And 3. And 2. Last one. As we come back, take this top or the back leg, sweep it forward, come into a lunge, and then rotate towards the back leg, coming into that nice deep lunge. Opening through that adductor. So you're opening through the inner thigh, you're pushing that heel down into the floor, and try to make sure your knees are opening. Don't let them roll in. Taking a few deep breaths here. Try to find the comfort within the tension so that you can release it a little bit more. And we rotate back towards our lunge, so back towards that supporting leg, bringing that back knee down. Again, if you want to just lift that back foot up, that's perfectly fine. If you can, reach that opposite arm up and back and pull that leg in towards you, stretching through that quad. Now watch that you don't shift back into that leg. Still keep that tuck position through your pelvis. Taking a few deep breaths here. And I always like to imagine that I'm sending my breath to the spaces that I'm stretching. So obviously we don't have lungs in our quad, but if you can envision yourself stretching into the quadricep and breathing into that space, it will allow it to soften a bit more. Because when we tighten up, it won't allow us to go deeper into the stretch. Relax that foot down, placing the palm back down, press it back into your downward dog one more time, and then gently walking your feet back in so that they are hip distance apart. Grab a hold of your forearms, just let the weight of the body release. Giving a little swaying action here, forward and back. And we're gonna go ahead and either resting the hands on the shins, the knees, thighs, or ankles, or the floor, wherever you're comfortable. Pressing down into a deep squat, but I want you to think of pushing your tailbone all the way down towards the floor into a chair position. And then from here, reaching your arms up towards the ceiling to the best of your ability, opening the shoulders. Exhale, folding forward. Let the head drop. We can do that 4 more times. We have 4. Bringing those arms up. Trying to get your tailbone towards the floor so you lengthen that low back. And 3 more. You have 3. Pressing up. And 2. And even if you can't get your tailbone all the way down, you want to try and keep lengthening through that low back. 1 more here. Reaching all the way up. Pressing the hands back down. And soft bend through the knees. Roll it up through the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. Your head is the last thing to come up. Last portion we're going to do together. We're going to take our right, which would be your left leg, because we're mirroring each other. Take your left leg, and we're gonna bring our hands in front. So finding a little bit of balance, we're just gonna start to open that hip a little bit more. 5 times one direction, 5 times the other. So we're gonna come up and around, 4 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse that circle, coming out and in. 1, 2. Don't worry about the height of the leg. Just think about opening through that hip. 3. Find a focal point. 4. Last one. Good. We switch over to the other side for 5. We go 5. Open it up. 2. Find that balance. 3. 4. 5. Take it back the other way for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Shifting back onto that left leg. If you need to, you can grab onto something for balance. We're just going to sweep the leg forward and back. So we open the hip, keeping the knee bent. Just swing in the socket. Open it up. Let your arms sweep with it. And we have 3, 2, 1. And other side. Sweep the leg forward and back. Push down through that supporting leg. Lubricate the joints. Let the arms release. Good. And 3, 2, 1. And taking one more big breath in. Big exhale. One last time. Exhaling. And you guys are all done for today. So enjoy this warm-up sequence. As I said, you can do it prior to a workout, prior to any exercise that you need to warm yourself up for, or you can just apply this to a mobility routine, just getting some range of motion and blood flow in your daily practice. So I hope that you guys enjoy this, and I will see you very soon. Have a beautiful day or night whenever you find this.